Hello there, my name is RustyPieLover, ginger streamer, professional high-pitched screamer, and rocket man extraordinaire. Now that's podcast extraordinaire. Speaking of Rocket Man, I listened to that song the other day on the radio, and I just thought it apt that we get someone who knows a little bit more about rockets and about space and about the time continuum. And, you know, I had to go and enlist the aid of our special guest today, Candy Rocket.
Though disclaimer, I know very little about rockets.
Oh, well, that's just misleading.
Yeah. I feel like I've sold you a lie.
Oh, no. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
How are you doing, man?
I am good in yourself. Listen, I asked the questions here. Okay, you're a guest. How dare you ask questions on my podcast? No, I'm good and yourself this fine day. This is definitely not the second time we're doing this. Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. There was definitely not an issue with the power at the time of recording, and we had to reschedule. But it's okay. No one's going to know.
No, they'll never know.
They'll never know. They'll never know. Our listeners, they're never going to know. So, Miss Candy Rocket, as y'all know, is one of our local up-and-coming streamers that has been making waves in the scene. Recently had to take a break due to the flu catching their voice because, you know, that loves to happen. But tell us more about who Candy Rocket is. Where does Candy Rocket come from, and how did we become graced by your presence in streaming and by the name Candy Rocket? I'm sincerely, genuinely curious about that name.
Okay. It's really not an exciting story. I wish it was way more exciting. But in a nutshell, obviously with my name being Candace, people tend to shorten it to Candy, which is cool. Just keep it with an I, not a Y. Not a Y. And do you know why not a Y? Because damn strippers use it with a Y. So controversial as they may be, and painting with a broad stroke there, I discovered this t-shirt brand at a outlet store called Melt. Old store, they don't exist anymore as far as I understand. And they had such cool designs and things, and then the one day I noticed it actually said the brand's name, like it's always hidden somewhere tiny in the design, Candy Rocket, and with an I. I'm like, what? This was meant to be. So, as it was with the internet back in the day, you know, you never actually used your real name or anything like that because stranger danger. So I just went by Candy Rocket, geez, for as long as I can remember. It was Candy Rocket SA. And then my amazing fiance actually had the idea of being like, well, don't limit yourself to just SA. Not that there's anything wrong with it. He's like, but if you can get just Candy Rocket, then you are the Candy Rocket. So I was like, good plan, bro. And luckily no one else had taken it. So that's how I got the name Candy Rocket from, geez, probably more like 10, 12 years ago. So again, not the most exciting story, but I think a little original. And why Rocket? It's cool. It's cool. Everything about rockets is cool. Anyone that has rocket in the name is cool, in my opinion. I mean, you got that little what's his name? What's it called now? Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, the little trash panda. Sucker Punch. The one character in there was called Rocket, and she was freaking sweet. You know, so why not just amalgamate the names? It worked out really well, I think. Anyway. And people always say it's a very interesting name, so I hope it sticks in people's minds. That's the idea, I guess. Yeah, like earworm them, brainworm them.
Well, that's like always a good thing. A meme is supposed to be a meme. Oh goodness, a name is
name.
Listen, it's been a few days. A name is supposed to be important. It's something that we need to remember. And Candy Rocket with an I, not a Y. As we have stated here, okay, listeners, don't you dare, all right? We all know we all know how chat can be sometimes, you know, as a streamer. But speaking of streamerness, how did it come to be that you decided on doing content and streaming as a whole?
So, yeah, it all started. I mean, I think a lot of people's journeys over the last few, I'd say 3 years, is obviously COVID related in some way. And I unfortunately lost my job due to the COVID pandemic. And I was very fortunate enough that my fiance who said, "Look, don't rush and try and find something that you hate," because I was not 100% happy in my career at that point, as it was. So for me, it was a bit of a silver lining, and I try and find the positive in most situations where I can. And he said, "Look, just figure out what you want to do, right?" And now that's like the worst thing you can say to like an overthinker, because I'm like, what am I gonna do? Um, there's so much, But then like that inferiority complex kicks in. You're like, but I'm not good at anything. Like the moods of being human. And I just happened to be on TikTok. My friend had actually just put me onto it because I was like, TikTok, isn't that where like just people do stupid dances? She's like, no, 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 they got cats. I'm like, okay, I'm there. And I happened to stumble upon Archangel Amble's one TikTok when she was playing Dead Space. And I still remember to say, which it was this thing where she was like, "My brew, can you run?" And it was just so bizarre to hear a South African, you know, in that sort of forum, I guess you could say. Because, like, again, I mean, South Africa is always like bottom rung for anything to do with entertainment and stuff, which sucks because we got some great entertainment here. I mean, Trevor Noah, hello. Um, and it said, like, go and check out my Twitch channel. And I didn't really know what Twitch was and all that. So I was like, all right, this is cool. So I hopped onto one of her live streams, the first one I'd ever actually watched. Um, and it just blew me away. Like she's such a phenomenal human. She was so interactive, and like she said my name, I was like, "Ooh, a little cheap thrill there," like, "Oh, she noticed me." um, and I just loved the energy, the vibe, and the community was so cool, and it was like proper laugh out loud stuff. And then like obviously you start getting brave and chatting. I said, "Look, I'm really." I think, yeah, I might enjoy streaming. I love gaming. It gets a bit lonely, and there's moments that you want to share with people, and you're like, "Oh, did anyone see that?" No, I'm sitting here alone in my computer room. And he's like, "Do it. Just hit stream." So I did a bit of research, me being me, um, got some overlays and things that you think are important at the time, and just with a pretty old gaming laptop with that webcam, hit go live. And that was about a year and a bit ago, a year and a few months ago. And it's just, yeah, that's what started my journey into content creation and streaming. So it's been a crazy but amazing ride.
That's so awesome to hear. And Amble's just such a wonderful human being. Are you sure it was Dead Space though? I think it might have been
Oh
Resident
no, it was
Evil.
100% Dead Space. This was like one of her
Oh
earlier
my
ones.
goodness, that's
Because
definitely.
I was thinking it. That's why it stuck in my head. Because I'm like, why is this guy moving so slow? But if you've played Dead Space, because I actually played it, the trilogy, recently. And you're like, this guy, Isaac, moved them boots. So it definitely was Dead Space. It was like one of the early ones. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Mm.
You see, I don't like Dead Space. I don't like horror games, so I
Oh,
never.
what?
No, no, that's not for me. Thank you very much. I'll stick to my Stardew Valley-ness.
Oh,
Um,
I love Stardew
oh,
Valley.
I love
Oh,
that
and
game so
having
much.
said that, by the way, and asking about my journey and stuff, obviously now I've discovered Twitch and it's become a drug to me. So obviously I'm investigating games. Like, what's the best games to play, to interact and talk? Because like when you first start out, like, I mean, all streamers know, you're like, I'm not talking to anybody, but I need to talk to keep people entertained when they come in. And Stardew Valley was top of that list because it's calm, it's chill, you can pause whenever. And that's how I discovered the amazing RustyPieLover. And ever since then, you have just been phenomenal, my dude. And you gave me all the tips, all the tips. And it was just such a vibe to chill in your stream when you were playing it because it's just like so, but then there's you, and it's just like, Stardew and Rusty, this is the best. So yeah, so props to you. Thank you for giving me some early tips with the Stardew streaming.
How dare you drop compliments to the host in their podcast? That's not how this works. I'm the one who drops the compliments, all right? Podcast ended. Next episode. No, thank you. That really does warm my heart. And speaking of like Stardew Valley and things, I most of my streaming journey has been like one of those, Stardew Valley is one of those things that I just enjoyed right from the get-go. And I think the thing for me is, especially with like doing Stardew Valley as long as I did, I'm looking forward to games like Witchbrook and Haunted Chocolatier. So I'm kind of just, I'm kind of just riding the wave of like, what I want to stream, and waiting for those games because I simply can't wait to play those. Those are just
Oh
going to
my
be,
gosh, yeah.
it's going to be such a vibe. But
So excited. I can't wait to see you play them. I mean, I'm gonna play them, but like you're gonna play the hell out of them. So I'm very excited for that.
Nah, look, those kind of games, I feel they just have so much variety and interaction and content built into them that you can, spend copious amounts of hours, and every run through is just going to be a little bit of a different thing when you play it. And I think for me, the thing is, especially with how you interact with your audience, these kind of games are just, something that the audience can interact with and have a fun time. But if they just want to chill and vibe, that's cool too,
And that's what I loved about watching your streams, is because like I do like having the music in the background for some, especially with Apex and things, if people do have that. But like when you want to just focus on work and that's what I love about Stardew and Haunted Chocolatier. I can't wait. Did I say that right? Chocolatier. What the fluff?
You could say chocolatier. Listen, this is
Chocolatier.
this is an 18+ stream. You are welcome to drop bombs if you want to.
Okay, yeah, because I'm trying to keep it clean as much as possible. It's like a habit I'm trying to build, but it's not working. Though fluff did pop out there, which is great. So Haunted Chocolatier, is you didn't have like, even lo-fi music. Like, because the game maker for Stardew and obviously Haunted Chocolatier, it pays so much attention to stuff like that, that even just the like little clicks and the opening of chests and then the little background music that pops in, it's just so soothing, right? And that's one of the favorite things I had about your stream, is you didn't add over and above that, because I feel like sometimes it gets overwhelming when you just want to have it in the background and stuff. And it was always just, and like obviously your little quips and you and your chat. Oh my God, you interacting with your chat. That's one of my favorite things about streaming, is interacting with these people, because wow, people come from left field and you're like, what did you just say? So yeah, that's why I do love these games. And like, thank goodness for content creators and streamers like you that just accept the game for what it was and played it for what it was, and then just made it super entertaining to watch at the same time. It was a ball, and yeah, so I'm excited for those new games.
I don't know how to feel about these compliments. Quick, name one of your mods.
NA13.
Nice.
Nabil.
Nice,
yes.
Nice. And
Nibbles.
There you go, Nabil. If you're listening, good. Now you know how important you are. And I think that's just like one of the backbones of Twitch, especially when you're a newer content creator, is people coming from the internet, watching your content, and then offering to help you, moderate your community, make sure that if you're keeping the vibes up, they're there to make sure about that. How did you find this Twitch journey from when you started to where you are? I know you've only been doing this for like almost 2 years, but it's still 2 years. That's a long time to be streaming, a long time to be making content, streaming to the general public, and putting yourself into the eye there. How did you find that experience, like from when you started to where you are now? And what is your overall perception of Twitch, besides all the nitty-gritty backgrounds that we're not going to ramble on about Twitch, because everyone has got a very salty opinion about Twitch right now, including me, because I just feel that they're not listening to what streamers need, they're listening to what Twitch needs. And it's become sort of a thing where I've seen it in the long time I've been doing content. Like, I've been doing content for 10 years now, would be next year. So I've been here since... I've been here since forever, and I've seen so many people come and go, and some people find the success, and some people just they say, okay, this is not for me. Where are you seeing yourself with this now that you're in with it, and what are your goals, and how do you feel about streaming just in general?
Good questions. But firstly, I hope you're celebrating this 10-year thing, because damn, son, like, content creation and streaming years are like dog years. Like, I don't think people understand that when they watch streamers. It's not as simple as just like, I mean, it is as simple as flicking a switch, but I mean, to actually make a proper go of it and to try be successful and get mildly or very successful, it's hard work. So please, people, do not delude yourselves. It's not as simple as just flicking a switch and you're live and build it and they shall come. So for you being doing this for 10 years, holy manoli, man! I hope there's going to be massive celebrations and I better be invited because if I'm
There's
not, I'm going to
like
be very upset.
there's 6 years of YouTube, and the next year January is 4 years of Twitch. And
Good
then in between
gracious.
trying to do all kinds of little things because not to take away from the questions because I hope you remember them, but if you don't, you can
Yeah,
always just
most of
ask
them.
again. But like
Most of them. Yeah.
doing content, as long as I have people ask, how can you still do it? And sometimes I question, why am I still doing this? I think it's just pure unbridled love for entertaining. It's not about
Love
money.
it.
It's not about the success. It's about people come to the stream or they watch the video. If they've smiled and they enjoyed it, hey, listen, I've done my job. That's it. And I think that's why I can
Winning.
still go on for so long. And yes, I'm not on the level of like big streamers or big YouTubers, but you know what? I think I've put in the hard work and dedication to know that somewhere out there someone will remember the name RustyPieLover, and then
Oh yeah.
cool. But coming
Oh
back to
yeah.
you, podcast
Yes.
guest, this is about you.
You see what I did there? Swindle.
Don't worry, I'll have
Um,
my vengeance real soon.
so yes, I remember most of the questions. If I skip any, just let me know if you desperately need to know. But basically, how I found it from when I started to now, like, and like I said, streaming years is like dog years, like no jokes, because like you said, we entertain. And I feel like, again, I'm not sure people's reasons for listening to various podcasts or this particular podcast. I'm sure a lot of it's to glean some information from people that have been doing it, for a while, not a long while. But, and I've said this a few times, even on my stream, is if you're getting into streaming because you're seeing Pokemon or however you say her name, I always say it wrong. People make fun of me.
I think it's
And all these
Pokimane.
big guys, Pokimane, I'm like,
There
come
you
on,
go.
crew. Pokemon in my brain. I don't know why I could never get that right. But and they're making these millions, because there was the Twitch leaks and whatever the story may be. And you're doing it for the inverted commas fame, the inverted commas money and stuff. You're gonna have a bad time because that should not be the driving force. And like Rusty, you said, it's about that love and passion, the unbridled. Like all you want to do is entertain and have fun with the people in this medium, right? And that's something that I discovered early on because I don't know why I was starting to stream. I just thought it looked like a lot of fun, right? And I definitely didn't start it. And I'm definitely not doing it for fame or money because and I know that's not going to be happening, unfortunately. Well, I mean, I'm sending out to universe manifestations, but realistically, and like you said, you've been doing this for 10 years, and in South Africa, and that's the issue. It's only really picking up now. To the extent that people actually go, "Oh, you're a streamer," and they know what you're talking about. But before it's like, "What?" um, so I'm very fortunate that I kind of hopped on this bandwagon when it's starting to really get noticed as such, and brands are starting to notice and all those sort of things. But that aside, I started this purely because I was investigating who I was and what I wanted to do with my time, right? And how I'm going to spend my very limited time on this planet. And I mean, just playing TV games. I've been playing TV games since my grandfather bought us an Atari back in the day, and then played through all the Nintendos, the PlayStations, the Xboxes, and now I'm very fortunate enough that I've been able to save up and afford a really great gaming laptop. So now I'm a PC gamer. I've gone over to the dark side, and just interacting with people from all walks of life, from all over the world. Even I've been fortunate enough that I've got people that pop in from time to time from Australia, New Zealand, um, England, and surprisingly a lot of people from the Nordic areas. I'm not complaining, but it's great. Um, you know, from America and stuff like that, and just seeing different points of view and different interactions that, as even though we're so different, we're actually the same in our little nerd universe, if we could call it that. And I absolutely love it. And as much as I love entertaining people, these guys entertain me, and they just are so wholesome. And like in a world that's so put, like thanks to the media and stuff, shown as such a dark, scary, untrusting place, right? I mean, obviously, don't be giving out your pins or anything like that, but to have these complete strangers that you don't know come in spend some of their very limited time with you and your channel and deem it worthy enough of that time. It just blows my mind. Every single time. Even if there's only 5 people, I'm like, oh my God, 5 people actually want to sit here and listen or watch me? What is this? And then on top of that, you brought up mods. To most mods, most people haven't met IRL unless they're like really close friends. And I'm fortunate enough that I have met a few of my mods, but I haven't met GMAX or anything like that yet. And to trust people enough to give them control of your space that you've created, that they're not going to abuse the power, they're a decent human being. It's just, I don't have a lot of trust for people, and it's very rare that people surprise me in a good way. And I'm just so blessed and so thankful for the South Africa community, but also the people that come from overseas and my mods, because like once you start getting people chatting, even if it's just 10, like it can get overwhelming. You're playing a game, you're chatting, entertaining, and then still trying to mod and make sure everyone's safe and happy and there's no troublemakers. They make your life infinitely easier. And yeah, it's insane that from when I first started to where I am now, that it's actually given me more trust in humans, which is very bizarre for me. And it just like pleasantly surprised every time I stream on how awesome people can be. And I think that's a really cool thing. And I love that about my community and a lot of the South African streamer communities that I'm in, and even some of the overseas guys. It's just absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if I hit all the points there. Let me know, because I can waffle all day.
It's fine. That's the point of these podcasts. The longer you talk, the easier it is for me to edit. I'm just saying. Now you know.
Okay.
I'm a lazy editor. I've been editing for so long. So
Editing's a pain in the ass, man.
But you mentioned that streaming has got such a big impact on you as a person. What changes have you seen in yourself from when you started to where you are now? Because a lot of people that start seem to be very in their little bubble of social anxiety, as most of us suffer. All right, even someone as long as I've been doing this, if I meet someone IRL and they're like, "Hey, it's Rusty," I'm like, "Take my wallet, please don't kill me." Okay, just take the wallet, take whatever you need. Just don't hurt me. But
don't talk to me and don't hurt me. Go away.
But where have you seen the personal growth?
I think that's it, especially after COVID. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like, even though like there's a lot of extroverts who are like going to their introvert friends, like, send help. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck in my house, and all the introverts are like, I got my book and my tea. I'm good to go. Even with that, like, I do suffer from social anxiety. Like you said, like most of us do. I don't know. I feel like it's a age, not age. What's the word? You know what I'm talking about, a group of people of the same age group, I guess. I don't know. Oh, brain words. That's I do suffer from it because a lot has changed with technology and stuff, and then COVID, and you're stuck inside for almost. I mean, some people for a year, depending where you were in the world. So for me, it helped a lot. What I've noticed is I still get nervous every time I'm about to hit the go live button. I almost procrastinate and find like, oh, have I checked this? Have I done this right? Which is crazy because it's been like over a year. But anyway, so that's testament to the social anxiety, because there are going to be people there at some point. And I just in the beginning, I was panicking over the littlest things, like, "Oh, my alert's working. Is this working?" And if it didn't, then I almost like had this like internal mental meltdown. Even though I tried not to show it, because that was one of the big rules of all the like YouTubers who are giving how to start streaming. Don't show the panic, just have fun. But instead, I'm screaming. Um, to now where I'm just like, it's chill. Guys, the alerts aren't working. Sorry about that. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out in the next break or whatever the story may be. So that's a big thing for me, because I also I have been diagnosed with OCD, and I need it to be perfect. And if it's not perfect, then like my brain itches, right? So that's big growth, that I'm not like panicking that this isn't working, that isn't working. Um, I'm not getting as frustrated as I used to, which I think has really helped, because no one wants to watch someone get frustrated unless they're like, I mean, there are people that enjoy those kind of streams. I do sometimes. It's pretty funny. But in general, and it's just help because I'm interacting with people from all over the world that I do not know at all, which would normally just like, I'd be like, I'm going to go and sit in the corner. Don't bother me. But now, because I'm in my space on my terms, technically, I don't feel that like crushing, like, oh, you're gonna make it a fool of yourself, because if you do, you're like, whatever, I can't see their reactions. It's okay. So I do have cringe moments, and I'm just like, please don't clip that. Um, so yeah, I think from when I started to now, just the fact that my perfectionism isn't as hectic. I'm kind of just like chill with things, and it's moved over into my IRL life. But also the fact that like I'm okay with talking to strangers and stuff. And even when I met, like when I was very fortunate enough to meet Edge, one of my mods, and Nabil, we went for lunch. I was very nervous, but then like, once we started talking, I was like, I know these people. This is great, so it really did help on that point of view. And even going to streamer meetups. Oh my God, there's the have you've been to a couple, I assume, Rusty, and
Yep.
how you put the most socially anxious people in one room. It's so great to watch the interactions, because I'm a watcher. I like watching, and it's so great to watch people like slowly come out of their shells and start talking to each other because they technically know each other, but they don't know each other. And I was very fortunate. I got invited to the Comic-Con streamer event they had here in Cape Town, and I got to meet some of the people that like, they're almost like little minor celebrities in my world. Um, and it was just and like, getting to it was amazing. And I normally would never have. I'd be like, no, I can't make it. Sorry, bye. And I took the leap, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. So I think it's just made me a more open person, I guess, as opposed to a shut off. Like you said, take my money, don't talk to me, leave me alone. So yeah, but I haven't had anyone recognize me yet.
Don't worry.
Damn
I'll find that for you. Don't worry. I'll be the first. Whenever we meet, I'll be like, that's Candy Rocket.
it.
I'm one of those observers too. I stand in the background and I watch. I'm consistently trying to be in people's streams. But I
Which
also
I
can't
love.
be.
I love that.
I also can't be everywhere. So
Oh.
it's been met with like mixed reviews and things like that. I guess I'm just too old to care anymore.
Yeah, it's the best part about getting old. Zero fluffs, zero fucks given. Yeah.
There you go. There it is. That's the F bomb I wanted. But yeah, no, you make a good point. When I started doing YouTube all those years ago, when I was young and had dreams, it was very challenging to find your own voice, and you always try and emulate those who you watch. And I think the thing is, for a lot of things that you said, especially locally, our culture is not used to content. 10 years ago, you could literally on possibly two hands count the amount of South African people that were making content back then. You can count me as part of that, Grant Hines and a couple of other people. And now the scene has just exploded, and that's kind of what I had hoped eventually would happen, is that people would see, hey, listen, content is actually a fun thing. It's not just these handful of people making content. And the backlash back then was like, oh, you're trying to be like Markiplier, you're trying to be like Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, those kind of things.
Oh yeah.
I think we're kind of past that thing, but there's still this very big divide in local content. We as streamers, we see each other, we know the hard work, but what is it that you want people that are not used to content creation in South Africa to see? What is it that we need to do to enhance that visual capability of everyone to say, hey, listen, we're here, this is content, come and join?
100%. And you know what? I feel like with the younger guys coming up, like in their teens, late teens, early 20s, it isn't so much an issue anymore. Because they literally were brought up on obviously more overseas content. Because like even when I discovered Amber, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's South African content creators. So if anything, I would love just to get the word out that our content, right, as South Africans. And again, this is very generalized because I'm not saying every content creator from South Africa is top notch quality, because you're always going to have the bad eggs and whatnot. And not content, some content's not for everybody, but I truly believe, and I mean, it's my opinion, so if you don't like it, don't listen, meh. But like, South African content creators are, in my opinion, some of the best in the world because we have to fight for everything. Power, our internet speeds, ping, oh my God, ping, and we've got all this stacked against us, and yet we persevere and we do it with a big smile on our faces, and and like I'm saying in general, we're all inclusive, and we're just, I mean, and like you said, there's the cornerstone people, you, Grant, and so, I mean, I was fortunate enough to meet Bum Fluffsky, gosh, what a great human, and Daddy
Mm-hmm.
Cool, and Chloe ZA, who haven't been in it as long as you guys, but like, they were there in the background when it was still like murky waters, and just chatting to them, and the grind was real, and I really would love to let the South African public as well as the worldwide public find a way so that they could be like, take the South African content creators a little more seriously. You will be pleasantly surprised, right? Because of all the stuff we have to put up with, and still then finding a way to make good quality content, no matter what. No matter what, we'll bend over backwards. That's what I've noticed anyway. And the other thing I would like to the slightly older generation, there's the word generation, is that we're not a bunch of bums living in our parents' basements, playing games all day and expecting people to just give us money. We're not charity cases. We work hard for that money. So please, 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 please. That's the other thing, is because like whenever I say I'm a streamer to like people in their 30s generally, or late 20s and 30s and then above, of course, because a lot of people over the age of 45 are like, what's streaming? You're like, never mind. Is they look at you like, so you just sit and play games all day, and you're like, no, not really. Though that is a big, big part of it. Like, just so people could take it more seriously as well. As well as obviously the South African people, it's not, like I said earlier, it's not just hitting start streaming and just playing a game. It's really not just that. And until you actually do it, it's very hard to explain. And I mean, you could probably have like a whole YouTube how-to series on what exactly goes into it, because you've been doing it on different platforms for 10 years. So I'm preaching to the choir now, but it's just more like, I hate getting that look of like, oh, so what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a streamer and content creator. And then you get that glazed over look like, oh, are you an influencer? And you're like, no, I said content creator, not influencer. Again, there's nothing wrong with being an influencer, but it's just got such a negative connotation these days. And then they're like, well, what's streaming? And I actually had a conversation with someone at a birthday bride the other day, where he does corporate streaming, so corporates all around the world, and they stream because obviously a lot of people can't fly, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, and you just get so excited, especially in South Africa, when you get like 38, 40 viewers. You're like, I'm so close to 50. And he's like, is that all? And I'm like, listen here, brah. You're not streaming for yourself. You don't know. You're streaming for people that have to watch it. And that's the thing, is they don't understand. Getting 10 people to watch you and consistently watch you is not easy. Um, and yeah, it's just like, I don't know, just educate people a little bit better, I guess. I don't know if I answered the question, but that's like the main thing for me, is just people really truly underestimate South African content creators. And people really need to get with the times and understand what it actually is. And it's not just e-begging. God, I hate that term, but it's not e-begging, and it's not me just sitting around in my sweats, though I do that sometimes, playing a game. There's a lot more to it, but yeah.
You can tell by my age that is the first time I've heard of e-begging. Okay, I didn't know that was an actual term. So thank you for enlightening me. No, you hit the nail on the head there. There's still this stigma where a lot of people feel, oh, you're a streamer, you sit at home, you've made it. Let me tell y'all something. Let me smarten everyone up to something, okay? When you've been doing things for as long as I have, and it doesn't matter whether you've done it for a year or 10 years, right? This is a difficult field to be in. It's very saturated. It is extremely saturated. You also need to understand that it's not a competition, but a lot of people are competing against each other.
Yes,
because
Rusty, thank you.
Because the thing is, what makes your stream better than someone else's stream? What content do you offer that you want people to watch versus someone else, right? This is not a competition. This is everyone's journey, and content is about the journey, not the destination. Now, I think a lot of people need to understand content is also going to hit you very hard, right? Because at the end of the day, if you want to do this full time, numbers are going to play a factor. It shouldn't be about the numbers, but numbers are going to play a factor. You are going to compare yourself to others. Whether you say you're not going to is up to you. But I'm going to tell you, eventually you're going to compare yourself to someone else, right?
Oh, yeah.
You are going to have days where you don't want to stream, and there are going to be days where you don't want to do this anymore. Content is not easy. Content is a very heavily mental-based game. And I think what a lot of people don't seem to understand is simply pressing going live and things is the easiest part of doing content. Afterwards, you have all the admin. You have to schedule your streams. You have to put up content to all the different platforms. And platforms are growing. We have TikTok. We have Instagram. We have OnlyFans. OnlyFans is a thing. I have an OnlyFans account, but I
really?
It was a one-time thing. People are so shocked. I announced this like so many times, and now people are like, "What? You have OnlyFans? What is this madness?"
That's amazing.
But people need to understand.
There's Hover now. Hover.
There's Hover GG. There's Twitter. Twitter's one of the best platforms to get your content out. People need to understand this is a consistent grind, and it's 24 hours. You go to bed thinking about content. You wake up, you think about content. It's
and I never thought.
No, go on.
No, I'm saying I never thought it would be a thing. I would be like you said, I did go into it a bit blind, but because I love it so much, it's okay. I'm okay with it, for putting a lot in and not getting, inverted commas, the cash dollar out, because it's not about that for me. But I'm not even joking. Well, I've been off sick because I had to take a break because my PC tower that I was borrowing from my fiance popped, right? And then because I was saving it for my laptop, it's a whole long story. And then there was a whole big thing with Amazon. It took 2 weeks to get here. So I was 2 weeks without streaming. So I thought, okay, let me focus on my content and stuff. Then I got the laptop, I streamed 2 days, and then I got a really bad throat infection, and I haven't been streaming for a week. So my anxiety is like through the roof. Because I'm like, people are going to forget me. I need to put content out, but what am I putting out? Because you want quality over quantity, but you also want the quantity. And Rusty is not lying when I'm lying in bed thinking, what's a cool TikTok I could do? What's a cool post? Because you don't want to just disappear. You don't want to become part of the background. And because it's a perpetual thing. The more you put out, but quality, not quantity, the quality stuff you put out, the more you actually see the feedback, and it's actually really it makes you feel like, yes, I'm doing the right thing. But when you don't and you see it falling behind, jeepers. And that's exactly it. You go to bed thinking about it, you wake up thinking about it, even though you've got other stuff on the go, right? Even though you've got part-time jobs or full-time jobs, it's sorry to interrupt you, but 100%, it's 24/7 on your brain. Just got to get that content out. So it's not as simple as just going live and streaming, because then you got to do the clips, then you got to do TikToks, then you got to do the hovers, even though you can technically just transfer those out. Then you got to do posts on Instagram, reels, stories, because there's so many people that watch the different versions of it, because a lot of people just watch reels, so you could anyway. So I'm just
No,
I'm agreeing with you.
this is why we have these things, and you can see this is why we have these guests, listeners. So you get a bigger understanding of what it is that content creators go through. We're not saying we're better than the person who works a 9 to 5. Obviously not. Because that is also mentally draining. But there are people that do full-time jobs, come home and do content as well to live this dream that we can blame all the bigger YouTubers for. They live the dream of doing content, playing games for a living, right? So now everyone wants to do it. It's a very difficult thing, and very few people succeed at it. I've been doing this 10 years. I don't think I've succeeded, not even remotely, but I'm not. I think next year I might retire.
No,
just like on a good note. Just on a good note. Just be like,
or maybe take a hiatus.
Oh no, Lord! If I take a hiatus, it's just like, what content can I do during this time off?
I suppose. Yeah. I hear you.
This is why I don't take breaks.
We need the Rusty. And also on that note though, what's also very important, especially if someone's thinking of streaming, and like you said, you've been doing it for 10 years, and I'm sure your goals and your ideas of success have changed immensely through that time, because if they haven't, then you're maybe not growing as a person. I know yours.
Let's put it like this, right? 10 years ago, what did everyone want to do? They wanted to be famous, right? 10 years later, you want to build a community. You want to you don't want to be famous, but you want to be big enough that you can do it full time and that you can stay at home and do it. But the world has changed. There's so many new content creators that popped up, especially with the COVID story. And then I think my question to you then is, it's very difficult, and I want to touch the subject, right? It's very difficult for female streamers not to have, the stereotypical, oh, ladies have it easy on Twitch and that kind of thing.
Oh my God.
As a female streamer, and I believe you identify as female, yes?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as a female streamer, what are some of these stumbling blocks that you faced? I don't want to call them stumbling blocks. These are challenges, because unfortunately we live in a world where, salty little boys that don't make it on these platforms blame it on females, and they're like, oh, but because you're a quote unquote titty streamer, or because people quote unquote simp for you, you're going to make it. There are definitely challenges that come with that. Yes, you can be someone that shows off the ladies. Hey, if you got it, you flaunt it. That's it. Even if you don't, right? That's content.
You do what makes you comfortable.
The pitfalls of that is ladies get harassed 10 times more than guys do. 10 times more, 1,000 times more. I mean, who was it the other day? I think it was Go Cat Go. She said someone sent her a video of them, having a fun time to her stream, and then thought that was appropriate to send to her.
Are you serious?
I'm being 500% serious that there are these creeps that exist in the internet. So have you dealt with that? And what is your opinion on that whole thing? Because I have a very salty opinion about people that say that kind of thing. I want to tell you, listen, maybe it's because your content is just horrible.
Yes, preach.
Maybe it's just because your content is dog awful. Maybe that's why you're not doing so good.
People don't like looking inwards. They don't like that. They'd rather hold a mirror up to someone else. So yeah, like it does. Like, even though I try not to let it get to me, it makes my blood boil when I hear, like, even when you're asking just the question, because I know your thoughts on it. Like, you made it quite clear now. It just makes my blood boil. Oof, rage. But so like, I mean, as long as the internet's been around, there's been creeps. Even before the internet, there's been creeps. I mean, if you look at those personal ads, right? It's just unfortunately part of human nature. It's something in the brain or whatever, and it is something that we've all had to learn to live with, right? The internet made it easier to be anonymous and extra creepy and have far easier reach. So, okay. So my as a female streamer, right? I've been fortunate enough, I haven't had anything like Go Cat Go or anything extreme like that. And I think it's because, to a large degree, that I don't flaunt what my mama gave me, right? And not because I don't want to draw attention to that stuff. It's just like, that's not who I am as a human. Like, I've never been like that. I'm a tomboy and stuff. So I think that's played a huge factor, but that shouldn't dissuade any of the female streamers or male streamers, who've worked hard for their bods. If you feel comfortable showing it and that's who you are, don't hide it, because, like, fuck those guys. Like, control your impulses, you creepy mofos. You do you, and if you're comfortable doing it, power to you. Like, I don't have anything against women that wear low cut tops or crop tops, or and I'm not like, oh, you just want the thirsty boys to pay your bills. Well, they're always going to be thirsty boys, and if they do, great for you. But if you genuinely feel comfortable wearing whatever you want to wear, and it's part, it fits into the TOSs, which apparently are very fine, because we got hot tub streams going. And again, I have nothing against those ladies or men. I don't know if they are men.
They are. I was one of them.
How did I miss that stream? But like, honestly, at the end of the day, I don't have anything against anyone doing what makes them comfortable in their own skin and stuff, for whatever their reasons may be, right? Whatever their reason may be, because with every choice, there's a consequence. With every decision you make to do what you're going to do, there is a consequence. And as long as you're aware of it, and can protect yourself or your community or your stream from it, then you do you. I don't have any issues with it. I'm probably not going to watch it because it's not my vibe, but that's because it's not my vibe. But coming back to like female streamers, and fuck, it makes my blood boil. Having people, whether it is, and it's predominantly males, like you said, it's salty little little boys, whether they're in their 60s or they're in their teens, salty little boys. But I mean, you do unfortunately get some of them salty ladies um, who feel like maybe they got the short end of the look stick or the body stick and stuff. You know, I don't discriminate when it comes to stuff like this, but it is predominantly males hating on females in general. Um, and I have been asked this question twice before, and I still stand by it. And exactly what you said is, if people are not watching you, supporting you, coming back, again, whether you're male or female, but again, it's predominantly the males, it's because you are a shit person or your content is shit. And come at me. Let's go into the DMs. Let's have this conversation. But people in general don't watch females with big boobies unless that's their vibe. And that's not everybody, right? That's not everybody. I mean, hello. I mean, if go and check out Archangel Amble's TikTok. She's done a phenomenal job on a series of explaining this with facts and numbers. The top 10 earners on Twitch are male. The top 10 grown communities with the most viewers are male. Right, so please, 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 don't come at a female who has, 1,000, 2,000 followers, and a consistent viewership of 30 to 35 people, and say it's because you're female and I am a male doing inverted commas the same content, because you're not, because everyone's unique, everyone's got their own content, and I can't even get 5 people to watch me. Bro, take a look at yourself, look inside, and be like, why? Are you playing a game that you're not good at, but like your mom said maybe you were? Because no one wants to watch shit gameplay unless the person they're watching is funny or interacting, or it's a give and take. It's a give and take. You're either really good at a game, and maybe you don't have such a great personality, or you're not so good on camera. But that's fine. People are there for your gameplay, right? Or you're that unicorn that has both. Oh my god. Well, if you're not growing, then I don't know, because that would be a weird situation. I'd love to hear from someone like that. Like, you've got a great personality, interactive. I mean, freaking look at Dead RX, man. Like, that guy can play Apex like a pro, but he's just such a genuinely wholesome human being, and he has freaking skyrocketed. He's doing so freaking well for himself. But I don't see him saying, "Oh, well, I'm not getting 100 viewers because I'm a male." No, right? Like, own it, own it. If you are not getting those viewers, you are not getting that following, you're not getting that support, inverted commas, that you want, it's you. It's nobody else. Not because they're male with a hot body, or female with an average body, or female with like boobies out, or whatever the story may be. They're not watching you because of you. It's really that simple. I mean, it could boil down to the fact that maybe your internet's not great and people don't like watching smudgy streams. And maybe it's not even your fault. I'm just saying, don't be blaming someone else because you're not succeeding. Only you can let you succeed. And again, if you're not doing it for the right reasons, if you're doing it for money, you're doing it for fame, you're doing it because, like, oh bro, I want to like flex on how good I am at COD, and you're not actually that good. Well, look at yourself, And that's the thing, is it just makes my blood boil. This argument of, because people are simping and stuff, that's why they succeed. And you don't have to say that. Fuck you, because I'm a female streamer and I've worked my butt off to get where I am. And for you to say that's because I'm a female, you're delusional, and you should probably just like take a step back from the world and think about your life values and your personal morals, because you've got a lot of work to do on yourself. Sorry, bro. And that's how I feel about it. It's like, no, just no, stop it. It's enough now. It's enough now,
I love it. I love
yeah.
it. Oh, it's gonna cause the pot to stir. I love it, though. No,
Yeah.
you make
Yeah.
fine points, and I will die on this hill. I've told people before, and I speak from both sides of the coin, because when I was younger, I used to be one of those, why am I not succeeding? Why is this person succeeding? Why am I not getting what I feel I deserve? And when you start looking at your content and you start bettering it and you start finding your way, you start to grow and realize, hey, listen, this is a me problem. This is not a them problem,
Yeah.
And the sooner that you can realize something is a you problem and you fix it, then you learn how to grow in life.
Exactly. And you only go better. You only get better. And that's the one thing, one piece of advice that I really appreciated from like Gail Level and all those people, and MJ and stuff, the overseas peeps that, that I've, I'm starting like, oh, follow South African content creators. But when I started my journey, I was watching overseas people because obviously they came top of the YouTube lists. But what they said is just be authentic. Don't try to be someone else. Figure out who you are, because the more authentic you are, the more people can um, identify with you, and they want to hang around and they want to talk or listen. If people could see bullshit a mile away. I'm sorry, like don't tell yourself like, no, it's fine because I'm on camera. No, 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 no. People could see bullshit a mile away, and just be authentically you and find, like you said, find your niche, find your place. And that's why I say, like, welcome to my weird little corner of the internet, because this is my little corner. It's weird. It's me. I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I'm not trying to copy anyone else. Of course, like you take inspiration and stuff. I mean, like you said before, it's like, you watch someone, you get inspiration from them, but it's still going to be you because you're not them. And again, if people aren't following you and stuff, like you said, it's a you problem, not a them problem. And the sooner you realize that, the better time you will have, and eventually everyone else will have around you, right? Don't be a salty little puff at her. Just accept your flaws and find a way to make them better, or work with them at the end of the day. So yeah, I guess
I love it. I
um,
really do. The passion is there, and
yeah.
I think that's one of the things that we need to talk about is your passion for this. It's truly inspiring. So please keep going. Make sure that
Thank you.
you continue to write that passion. You mentioned like Dead Oryx and those kind of people. It's good to see people growing the way they are and being consistent in their growth and just being absolute mad lads. And
Yeah.
I think we have some time for like quick fire questions before we got to end this
Ooh.
off. So I hope you're ready because these are going to come quick and they're going to be confusing.
Okay.
All right, are you
Okay, so
ready?
just answer as I think of stuff.
As
Prepare
you think of
yourself
stuff.
for some shocking stuff. 'Cause my brain's
Yes.
weird.
All right. Are you ready, Miss Rocket?
ready.
Are you ready to go to space with these? See what I did there?
Let's go.
I made a rocket joke. Oh, that was awful.
Dad joke extraordinaire.
How have I done this for 10 years and not just get like
That's how you've done it.
cancelled for
That's
like terrible jokes? Anyway, favorite band of all time?
The Killers.
Top 5 songs of all time for you?
Mr. Brightside. Sheepers, my brain just shut down. It's definitely Mr. Brightside. Don't Let Go by the New Radicals. Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Oh my goodness. Geez, my brain. There's so many. Number 4 would be basically any song by the Killers because I just love listening to them. And then Mad World. I don't know who it's by though. My brain's completely blank on that. But it's actually what got me into Gears of War is that that trailer. Anyway, Mad World. I can't think of who the artist is.
See, these are tough.
Yeah.
And we're only at question 2. Top 5 games of all time you would play. If you were stuck on an island, you only get 5 games you would play for the rest of your life. What would it be?
Okay. BioShock series, the Infinite in particular. Like I said, Gears of War. Stardew. 100% Stardew. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, I've just fallen in love with Genshin and Path of Exile.
Nice. Good ones. All right. Game you feel is overrated.
Call of Duty.
That comment section of mine is going to be rife with trouble. Game you
Call
feel...
of Duty or FIFA, bro. One of the two.
My podcast is about to get cancelled over here. Game you feel is underrated.
Sheepers. Oh my. Jeepers. I just completely drawn a blank. I almost need to open my Steam library here. Oh no. What am I talking about? Alice the Madness Returns. 100%.
Ooh, that's a
Actually,
good one.
that's a game I'll play forever. That's on my top 5. I just remembered that. Alice the Madness Revenge.
That's a good one. That's a
Yeah.
really good one.
Fucking love that game. And the new one's hopefully coming out soon. I'm a part of the Patreon for American McGee. Holy shit, it looks cool. But yeah. That.
Worst game of all time for you?
Another tough one. Worst game. What have I been bitterly disappointed with?
There's so many.
I know, and like I always try and keep like the positive in the front of my mind, so now I've got to like dig deep. Worst. Sheesh. What did I stop playing almost immediately? I suppose XCOM. I really was not a fan of that.
Really? XCOM, of all the games you could pick.
Yeah.
I feel like you're about to upset an entire player base there, yo.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the one that popped straight to my mind. Like, I was so excited to play it, and I literally started, I think, the tutorial, and I was like, fuck this.
XCOM.
I don't like this.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, this is everyone's opinion. I just feel like yours might be wrong.
Probably. I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't do it.
Wow, XCOM. I mean, that's fair. I can see it, but I also can't see it. I would have expected you to say, like, Alien Colonial Marines, Duke Nukem Forever.
I haven't played them, so I can't have an opinion.
Oh, okay. Don't bother.
Or maybe that's why.
Don't
I was
bother.
just like, nah, bro. I don't want anything to do with this.
Don't bother. Don't bother. Top 5 dishes.
Top 5?
Dishes that you love to eat.
Ooh, sweet and sour stir fry. I'm pescatarian/vegetarian. So sweet and sour prawn would be up there, trying to go vegetarian/vegan. So yeah, Asian food is just Oriental food is so good. So that's tacos. Oh my gosh, tacos for days. Mexican food in general is so good. Any sort of pasta. What's that? 3. Pizza's my number 1 though. Pizza is my number 1.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and then waffles. Waffles and
then
donuts.
Your final question. Your favorite pie.
Favorite pie. This is a tough one. This is a toughie. But I'd have to say a good old-fashioned like apple cinnamon with double thick cream.
We're going with the sweet. Yeah, I think you're the first guest to actually go with the sweet pies. Interesting. Yeah. I like it. Okay, so now we get to the part of the podcast where I get to compliment you and you can't say anything. So, everyone, listeners, please go check out Candy Rocket, one of the finest streamers in the local community, if not the world. You need to go and check them out. Path of Exile, Apex Legends, just a wonderful human being. Go check them out. They got a Wheel of Pain as well. Yeah, I pay attention. I pay close attention. They got a Wheel of Pain, so go make them go do things. But please go send all the love to Candy Rocket. Just an absolutely wonderful human being. Amazing person to talk to. Down to earth. Lovely stream. Candy Rocket, please plug yourself.
Oh my goodness. After that, I don't think I need to. Gosh, I'm blushing over here. Sheesh. Coming from the Rusty. My God.
No. We don't do that here. We don't do that here.
Oh. You're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do. Okay. Yeah, so like Rusty said, I'm a variety gamer, streamer, terrible singer, though I still sing impromptuly, chair dancer. I've got the cutest cat in the world. Fight me. His name is Claude, and a lot of my emotes are inspired by him. I absolutely adore them. And yeah, I mean, I play a variety of games, but if this is one thing, and Guerrilla Gaming will attest to this, if you enjoy watching people get frights from horrors, I do play them occasionally. You have to come and watch one of those streams. Like, you don't have to watch anything else, just watch those streams, because I am a skittish individual and my chat is freaking sadistic. And I recently played Outlast 1. What the hell was I thinking? And I have clips for days from that, and I just thoroughly enjoy. And I don't normally like watching myself, but I thoroughly enjoy watching those clips because.
You poor fool.
So if anything, just keep an eye out for one of my horror streams, guys. Check out my TikToks.
Where can we
that's
find
where that
you?
all is.
Where can we find you?
Oh, where can they find? Of course, plug myself. Right. See, I'm not used to this. So you can find me basically everywhere. It's all Candy_Rocket, and I am on the Twitter, the Hover, the TikTok, the Instagram. I think that's everything.
There we go.
I've got a Discord, a Twitch. Yeah, I'm starting YouTube soon, hopefully. So keep an eye out for that.
You should have done it already. Come on now, Candy. Come on. If I could do it for 10 years, you got no excuse. Come on now. Come on. All right. Remember, chat, that is Candy with an I, not with a Y. Yes. Otherwise, you might find a different Candy Rocket. And that's probably not safe for work, so don't research that in front of your spouse. You can find me, RustyPieLover, everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Hover, OnlyFans, Discord, Steam. Don't add me on Steam. I'm probably not going to add you. And yeah, thank you for listening to the Pie Oven Podcast. Thank you, special guest Candy Rocket, for joining me today. I appreciate it immensely.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. What an honor.
And I will see you all next episode. And remember, we change the world one smile at a time. Bye-bye.